5:30? Let me know when we're live.
We are recording. We are not live anywhere.
Well, yeah, okay, we got you. All right, so, welcome, everybody. This is the June 25th, 2025 meeting of the Aransas County Appraisal District Board of Directors. And in attendance tonight, we have, let's start this direction.
Anna Marshall.
Kevin Lambert.
Nikki Arnold.
Janet Hastings.
And I am Matt Oker. We have a full board, and so we can declare our quorum, and we are called to order. Our second order of business is citizens to be heard. Is there any member of the public that wishes to address the board? Seeing none, I will close that item.
There's somebody in the waiting room on the Zoom meeting called Anna's iPhone. I don't know if that's a member of the public or.
I don't have an iPhone.
No.
I have an
So
Android.
the other email address though is our, candidate, the CHEMA.
Yeah, those people are.
Are they still waiting as well?
RSVPing, but I just don't know who Anna's iPhone is here.
Okay.
I don't know if this is a citizen to be heard.
Well, is there a way to pull that up?
That is definitely not me. My name's two Annas. I'm like, I don't have an iPhone.
There's an Anna.
Hello?
This is our candidate. Can you hear us?
We're.
Can you hear us?
It's picking up the mic.
Do you have audio? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? I don't even know, I think we're delayed.
Does anybody know who it is?
Yeah, so that's our candidate. So,
Okay, so.
we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna retire to executive session.
She
Yeah.
can't hear us. She's gotta get that fixed.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can fix it over here, but.
So just
Yeah.
note 5:32, we'll go into executive session.
Put her back in the waiting room. All right.
That was a while back.
Way off.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, that's.
I'm not
Probably
even-
very delayed, because that's when you went and stepped out.
Yeah.
So is it delayed for her?
No, I'm not even in there.
Yeah,
That was way before I even
Way
came
back.
in here.
5:20.
It's weird, I'm watching my, and it's
Yeah.
not, it's just like.
I'm
it's
not doing
Well,
even
that's
on.
all right. I'm looking. I'm not even there. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like that. I'm not even there. I'm like that.
Kevin's really slowing down.
I am. Damn, that diet's working.
All right, now
Oh,
we're
man.
live. There we go, look, see?
Wait, almost.
Yeah.
No, there's a little lag.
Okay, there we go.
And we are no longer, this will not be a public facing video?
That's correct, it's just a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
But where is she now?
She's back in the waiting room, but this is not a citizen to be heard, I don't think.
No.
No.
So, we're good.
Right, but are you gonna try and fix her, ask her to,
Yeah, I don't wanna hold up your meeting.
Oh.
well, I mean, we can't move forward until we.
She's the one we're interviewing.
Oh, is it happening right now?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought there was other stuff going on.
Nope.
No, we're,
Okay.
you're it.
Yes, I can hear you on it.
Oh, there we
There we
go.
go.
Now we can't see you.
That's all right. I can see myself walking down that.
There we go, there you are.
There we are.
So you can hear us now?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, great.
Wonderful. All right, so we're all good in?
Thank you, Eamon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
We'll let you know if we need anything.
You wanna hop out?
Right, if you don't mind, appreciate it. Hopefully we won't need anything. Thank you.
I will be here either way.
Perfect. Okay, hello, Mr. Aguirre.
Hi, how are y'all?
Great. My name is Matt Oker, and,
Colleen Quattlebaum,
Anna Marshall.
Kevin Lambert.
Nikki Arnold.
Janet Hastings.
all right, and we're pleased that you've joined us. We're pleased that you have interest in our job opening. And, this is gonna be pretty informal. What we're gonna do, who decides who wants to ask the questions?
We're gonna kind of go back and forth.
Okay, these ladies here are gonna ask you questions, and there may be follow-ups by other members of the board. And if you have any questions of us, if something prompts something in your mind, it's gonna be real informal, so just, have a conversation with us.
Okay, alrighty, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon or evening, whatever it is.
Yes, ma'am.
I just kind of wanted to start out with just something simple to just kind of relax you. I know everybody gets nervous in these situations, so if you would, just kind of start out and just tell us what your experience is with, appraisals. And, you know, like the doing the math appraisals, the various property types, that kind of thing.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I started in with Jim County Appraisal in 1981, as a clerk, and worked there as a clerk for about 7 years. And then we started, consolidating collections. And so I worked with the delinquent, law firm that consolidated all those collections. So because I did work with that, they decided to put me in the collection department because we started collecting taxes. And I worked in the department a couple of years, and then I was promoted to senior collection clerk and worked there until, I had 3 subordinates, and I worked there until 1993 when I moved because of my husband's job. So I actually did move out of the country for a while, and then moved back to El Paso in 1996 or so, and then was hired on by the El Paso CAD office as an appraiser, and that is where I obtained my RPA. So with Jim Wells CAD, I did obtain my RTC, which is a registered Texas collector, because I was working under the umbrella of the chief appraiser. He was the assessor collector. So when I got hired on by El Paso CAD, then I did start working as an appraiser, and I obtained my RPA in 2002. I worked mainly in the residential department, and eventually worked my way up to senior appraiser. I was there about 10 years or so, strictly residential. And then my husband was moved to, stationed in Laredo. So we moved, and I got a job right away. That was in 2004. And I got a job right away. Actually, before I even started, I made a trip to Laredo and was interviewed and got hired on as an appraiser. So in Webb, I mainly worked in the residential department also. They did have a residential department, and then actually it was real property department. So we did a little bit of commercial, but my duties were mainly residential. At some point, they decided to split it out between residential and commercial, and I became residential supervisor. I applied for and was made residential supervisor. So I did that for about 6 years, 6 or 7 years as a supervisor. And at that point, I had about 12 or 13 appraisers under me. All we did was residential and mobile homes. So an opening became available in the commercial/personal property department. So my supervisor recommended that I be, and I take that position, that I challenge myself. So I did, and I worked as a commercial BPP supervisor for about 3 years before they decided to divide that up and make it completely personal property, because we were growing, because, you know, Laredo is a border city, and we had a lot of warehouses going up and a lot of personal property accounts going up. So he made me personal property supervisor, where I had six appraisers under me and 1 clerk. And also, that was during my years there at Webb CAD is when I started working with Mr. Roberto Valdez. He was the deputy chief appraiser, and that's where I learned to work ratio studies. That's where he taught me how to do reappraisal plans. So I worked mainly under him, learning how to do the reappraisal plan, how to write it up, how to divide up the neighborhood codes and decide how we're gonna do it on a 3-year plan. I also learned how to, work on the maps review, the maps reports, the reports that we have for maps. Of course, in our department there, we as supervisors had to update our own appraisal manuals.
I'll tell you what, some of this might be getting into some of our other questions, so I'm gonna stop you there, and then we'll just continue on, because some of those other will come up later on in the questions, so sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine.
So what piqued your interest, or why are you interested in our, chief appraiser position here?
Well, of course, working, since 1981 in this type of work, I've learned a lot from, my supervisors and also from, my coworkers, and, I kind of feel like I want to know, or try to manage an entire team. It's definitely, I always challenge myself to do something more than just, stay stagnated in one department. As I said, I've covered, personal property, commercial, residential, and then here in, Jim Wells, I also learned to work the ag. And so I feel like I'm, knowledgeable in all departments. I have worked hands-on in all departments, including ag. And so I just kind of feel that it's just one step further in a challenge, to be able to do something like this. And, I worked all these years, learning, it's a huge challenge because of the legislature, of course, and, the maps review, the property value study. It almost seems like we're constantly getting, audited. And so I just kind of feel it would be a challenge to be able to oversee, an appraisal district in full. That's the way I am. I like challenges. I appreciate challenges. I know that every time that I take a different, title, I learn so much more than what I knew before. And I kind of feel that it's, in this job and working for so many years, in an appraisal office, this is the highest that I can achieve, the highest, position that I can achieve. And so I feel that I'm, very knowledgeable, and able as a supervisor, to manage a staff. And so I would like that challenge.
Okay. So you're willing to relocate to the Rockport, Aransas County area?
Yes, ma'am, I realized that would be part of the, something that I would have to do also to get to learn the area. I've visited a couple of times. It's beautiful. I passed by our office, during the Easter holidays. We were there, in a little cabin right by the water, and so it just seems like a really nice place. It's beautiful to visit, obviously. But again, it comes with its challenges. I've never really worked with, we did work a lot of Freeport in, Webb, but that was inland ports. So now being by the water, I would imagine that would be a different challenge altogether.
Okay. All right, what strengths do you think you bring if you were appointed as chief appraiser here in Aransas County?
Well, I have a very good and hard work ethic. I've, managed to train new appraisers, so I have the experience. And I think one of the biggest strengths that I have is that I've pretty much covered all departments, hands-on, doing the work. And so I feel that I would be able to train anybody that's new, but, also share, coming from, a large appraisal district like El Paso, and then something a little bit smaller like Webb, to something really, really small, and mainly rural like Jim Wells, to be able to share any knowledge that I might bring, and help others. That's what I've been doing at Jim Wells, is, trying to straighten out, WEB, learning to work with the property value study and the maps review, and bringing all that forward and, teaching probably the younger staff members.
Okay, well, thank you.
To build on that one, how would you verify accuracy and reliability of the data that's used in an appraisal?
Well, I also, one other department that I worked with in, El Paso was sales verifications. So, and I enjoyed that. So, verifying those sales, running ratio studies, but also checks and balances with staff, training them to do these things as well, because a lot of them don't get that hands-on with ratio studies as much as analysts do. But again, that's coming from a bigger appraisal district where you do have specialty departments. I don't know exactly how big Aransas CAT is or how many employees they'll have, but I have worked with a large number of people where we were very specialized to very small, like Jim Wells currently. And again, teaching them to learn the state code as much as they can, because I found that as a supervisor, a lot of my subordinates just want to come to me for an answer. But I expect them to learn the code, you know, at least the main ones that we always work with, obviously not all of it, but and also to get updated in the legislature changes. I like for them to attend seminars. We did send 2 or 3 of our appraisers for the ag seminars so that they can learn. So I think cross-training is also important, but it's working as a team. I try to get all staff to work as a team so that we can help each other understand, work at times like this when it's so chaotic with the protest season. So I think just mainly building a team where we can have confidence in each other and we can also help each other out. So I think that's the way I would lead.
Okay, how do you see technology in the future of appraising properties?
We currently use the, I use EagleView in web, which is great. And that's new because when I worked in El Paso, we obviously didn't have that. We also use Google Maps. Technology is good to an extent, but I also feel like we need to do hands-on as appraisers. We can't do everything desktop appraisals per se, but it is good to try and, like in Jim Wells, we have a lot of rural area. So right now, we have an aerial photography that is just above ground, and so it doesn't, EagleView is probably one of the better ones, and they, that I've worked with, and so you can go all around the property, and you can obviously access properties especially in rural areas that don't get building permits, that don't report mobile homes, that don't report structures. And so using that technology to me is very important to do it. The first round, let's say a reappraisal, I expect staff to use pictometry or to use aerial view to try and identify omitted structures, omitted mobile homes, anything like that. But then I also feel it's important to visit the areas and get hands-on with them as well, so that when we are questioned about these things during protests or during audits, that we know our areas. We know that this is primarily rural. We know the market, like in Alice. I know the market in Alice is not very high, but I do know that the market in Orange Grove ISD is higher than in Alice. So technology is good. It is good. However, there has been a lot of talk about AI, and I just don't think they're going to get it quite to doing something hands-on. But yes, absolutely, technology is important, and it is really, really good and in helping out, especially in the rural areas.
Okay, all right, great, thank you. All right, can you describe a complex appraisal project that you worked on And also tell us about any challenges that you had to handle that came up.
Well, I would have to say it was in web when the maps review came about, and all of a sudden we had to have manuals from step A to step Z to exactly like how do you process exemptions, how do you sketch a structure, how do you enter this information, how do you do that? That was probably a big challenge, because when you learn computer, when you learn software hands-on, the more you use it, it just becomes super easy. It just becomes to where you automatically do it without almost thinking. But to have to write procedures, that was very difficult. And we had an allotted time before the auditors were going to ask for our information. So we did, our chief appraiser did not hire or specifically assign certain people to come up with the procedures and to get all that going. We met and he told every single supervisor, you're in charge of creating your procedures, from field inspection procedures to data entry procedures to processing paperwork and so on. That was very challenging. We worked a lot of weekends, so I had to give up my family time. But in this job, I got used to it because, well, protest season. My son would get out for school in late May, and I was stuck with protests, through the end of July. So, but we did have to put in a lot of overtime for that. But we got it done, and at the end, we had good manuals. So we had everything that we needed for our maps review. So that hard work does pay off.
All right, thank you.
So you've already mentioned legislative updates previously. Can you just give me one example of how you stay informed about legislative updates?
Our Linwood law firm, they handle all the property value study protests. So they also put together seminars where they take the legislative information and they break it down to layman's terms per se. So we do have seminars that our chief appraiser sends us to. They're just one-day seminars that we go to. Every once in a while, we do go to legislative updates, mainly in San Antonio, which is typically like a 2-day thing. But yeah, that's how we, plus we also have meetings with staff, with the managers, and keep each other informed. This is what I heard, this is what I learned, and I mainly deal with what affects, obviously the appraisal aspect of it. But yeah, our chief appraiser does really well, and even in prior appraisal districts, well, in web, we would get legislative updates. We would attend seminars for those.
Okay, thank you. All right, so what is your experience in developing budgets and managing financials?
That I'm limited to. Jim Wells County is a very small staff, so our human resource is also our business manager, is also, we all wear, 2 or 3 hats around there. I've learned a little bit from her. We do talk about the budget, but I will be honest and say that other than letting her know, hey, I need new scanners, or I need, whatever type of machines that we need around work. But to be honest with you, I have not worked with a budget per se.
Okay, so we appreciate you
Creating a budget.
letting us know.
What experience do you have with hiring employees? I know you mentioned that you previously have supervised employees. And then how do you create that positive and productive work environment?
In hiring, in web, which is where I became a manager, we did interview. We actually had a three-step interview process, because we had so many applicants that came through. So we were allowed to do, it's a 3-step process, and by there you go minimizing, and then just keeping the ones feel, are your best candidates until we finally do the final and come up with your candidate and offer the job. In Webb, in Jim Wells, I've had to hire also appraisers, actually 2 or 3 times in the last 6 years, and it's just a matter of reviewing their application for sure. I always look for somebody with some education, but also where they have stability, where they've worked at a job for a good time, they've stayed there a good while, not just jumping around from job to job. I look for someone that wants to work hard, that doesn't mind getting their hands dirty, because that's what appraisal work is. And I've actually had really good candidates, and then once we hire on, I make them feel part of the team. They're always going to be part of the team. They're never, okay, yes, you're an appraiser one, but we're going to teach you the ropes. I'm going to go out with you. Whatever questions you have, I'm going to help you out with. And if I have inspections, which I still do, then I typically take the newer appraisers with me so that they can learn and see, and if they have questions, they can ask me. But I've always made the department, whatever department I'm in, feel like a team. We're all a team. We work together. If someone has 10 protests and the other 2 appraisers have only 1 or 2 pending, we all pitch in to help each other process that. And that's, I think, one of the main things to bring across is to let them know that this is a good job. Obviously, I've been in it for over 30 years, 35 years. You can grow. You can also grow within the department, within the appraisal district. I explained to them the good benefits that we have. It's a good working place, and more than anything, I just think we kind of have to make them feel like they are part of the team.
All right.
Make them feel at ease.
Well, thank
So
you.
they can be comfortable.
Thank you. All right, so, another question is, as the chief appraiser, you would report to this board. And so we want to ask you, like, what kind of information do you think is good to be able to communicate to the board? And what could we, as a board, do to make your job easier?
Well, support, of course, is the number one thing. When you have a good board of directors that support the chief appraiser. But on the flip side, you have to have a chief appraiser that's going to be open with the board, be able to communicate what is happening within the office, whether good or not so good. What I would relay would be appraisal activities, where we're at, what we're doing, because of, the audits. So it's always good to report to them about the audits and how we scored in the audits, where we're at with the audits, if we're not doing well, what we're going to do to bring those scores up. I think it's good to relay mainly everything that we're doing to show that we are on our timeline, what our timeline looks like, and to be able to have a very open communication with them, and very transparent, of course, both ways. If there's anything that the board would need, absolutely, I would be able to get that information for future meetings. But I think it's very important to keep the board abreast of all appraisal activities and also the audits and how the audits are going, both property value study and maps review, because they don't get. Sometimes I think they don't know enough about those, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that we have to do within the appraisal district as managers to be able to keep, the audits at a good place.
Okay. So is there anything else you would like us to know about you, or do you have questions for us?
Well, I will say that I just checked the property value studies and everything looked great, so I'm happy about that. It's always good to know the area. I don't know how much rural
So one last question, for you is, do you, we didn't see that you put in a salary expectation. Do you remember if you submitted that?
No, I didn't, because I kind of feel that, first of all, you have to look at my experience, what I bring to the table, if it's everything that you need, obviously, if it's the experience that you want.
Okay, we just wanna make sure that we didn't miss it or anything.
No, ma'am, I did not list it, no, ma'am.
All right,
Does she
so,
have an idea?
yeah, she said she's open.
Okay.
Did anybody
Anyone else
anybody
have anything they wanna add?
Oh, I do have one question. What is your thought, and this is, I'm the tax assessor collector for the county,
Mhm.
and I know you worked, you said in collections, but
Yes, ma'am.
I wanna just know what your thought is, how do you see an appraisal district and a tax office, how they work together? Do you feel that's an important, we're separate here, we don't
Yeah.
have, we're not all together, we're totally separate departments, so what is your, do you see yourself working, I mean, I don't know how to question it, but working together, is that important?
Super important.
Okay.
It's very important because every change that we make obviously affects, the tax. Whether it's, when we have property owners that come in, obviously I work the appraisal, but a lot of times when they come in, they say, I wanna process my taxes are too high. Okay, one thing is, I like to educate the property owner and let them know, okay, I can't really talk about taxes because I work with appraisal, however, there are these exemptions, we have to look at your value, this is how it works, obviously the taxes are based on your market value, minus any kinds of exemptions that you might have, or special valuations. So I think it's super important to inform the property owner, first of all, and second of all, absolutely, it is very important to work with the assessor collector because everything that we do affects the tax. And even if it comes to, correction of errors, any kind of clerical changes that we have to do, and, sometimes, we do get calls from the delinquent tax department that say, okay, and they obviously have the back taxes, so they say, okay, this property has all these taxes, but the property owner says the building is not worth it, or the building was torn down, or whatnot. Well, it's important for us as the appraisal district to go out and check and verify, and then find out, is there anything we can do for prior years? Do you have a building permit that shows, a demo permit that shows it was gone 2 years ago? And then relay that information directly. Now that we have email, it's so easy to be able to communicate with different offices and be able to tell them, okay, yes, I found that the building was destroyed by fire 2 years ago, I'm gonna do a certified change, I'm gonna send you, the information. But yes, it's extremely important, they should work side by side.
Okay.
Because what we do in appraisal affects the values, and the changes that the assessor collector or the tax departments have to make have to come from us. We have to keep open communication.
That's good to hear, thank you.
All right.
Does there anybody else have anything for Ms. Aguirre?
I've got a question. So going back to, kind of talking about like managing people, what is your management style? Would you say you're more of you want to train the employees, and you sound like you're definitely sound like a teacher, like you want to make sure your employees are fully informed and everything, know how to do their job. But then on your ongoing management style, are you more of here, go do your job, I want to see the work product, but I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand, or are you more involved in the day-to-day, with the employees, kind of management?
It's both. You have to empower them. But you also have to, now, I tell them I'm not a micromanager. I don't want to be a micromanager because that makes their job, harder with someone it makes it more difficult with someone constantly over their shoulder. You want them at ease to be able to make, their own decisions as an appraiser. No two appraisers are gonna come up with the same value, first of all. Everybody sees things differently. So I don't like to micromanage. But for the first year, I like to take that new appraiser and be able to guide them, be able to give them information, be able to train them, and then little by little, just let go, to where at some point I tell them, you're on your own, but if there's anything I can do for you, I'm here. However, I do meet with my staff. I meet with them and I ask them, where are we at with mass appraisal? Where are you guys at? Have you finished this area? Have you finished that area? What do you have pending? How many accounts do you have pending? So if one appraiser has completed their area, by all means, they're gonna pitch in with the other appraiser who may be a little bit more new and not know the area and help out. And me as well. I still go to the field, and so I enjoy the field. That's why I became an appraiser. So to me, it's good to manage them and also do your checks and balances, but it's not good to micromanage. But it's good to empower them as well, so that they can start making decisions on their own, whether accurate or not, and be able to say, it's okay. We didn't look at that. We don't know about the land value. We don't know it's commercial. We're learning the commercial codes. We're learning all the state codes. So there is a lot to learn. One of the things I do tell them when I hire new appraisers is you're not going to learn it in 1, in 3, or in 5 years. You're not going to learn it all. I've been doing this for 35, 37 years, and I'm still learning. So I want to put them at ease that it's not black and white. It's all gray. But we work together as a team and figure it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Okay, Ms. Akira, we certainly appreciate you joining us this evening, and we will be hopefully making a decision later this evening, if not, in the very near future, and we will let you know either way.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time and the opportunity.
All right,
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Y'all as well. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we can get into that here, yeah.
All right. What do you need?
To exit.
You should have another person in the
Yes, there
waiting
is.
room. All right. It's weird how that
It really is. I was like, is she still on there? But I'm looking at a screen.
Hey there, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, they're taking a break, so it'll be just a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that went
Thank you, I
long.
appreciate it.
Same, yeah.
How bothersome is the visual delay on our end? If it's not a big deal, we
I don't
can
think
leave
so.
it.
I don't care what it goes on our end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Amy. So, good evening, Mr. Walker.
Good evening.
My name is Matt Oker, and
Colleen Quattlebaum.
Kevin Lambert?
Nikki Yarnell.
Janet Hasty.
the lady that will be joining us in just a moment is our tax collector. Her name is Anna Marshall.
All right.
And this is our entire board. We have a 5-person voting member board and an ex officio. There she is right behind
I'm back.
me.
We introduced you.
This is Mr. Walker.
Hi, Mr. Walker. I'm Anna Marshall.
Okay, the way this is going to go, we have a series of questions that the ladies to my left are going to ask you, and depending on your answers, depending what may pop into our heads, we may have some follow-ups. But don't feel like this is a super formal proceeding. We're pretty informal here. We're beach bums. So just talk to us, just have a conversation, and, let us get to know you a little bit and a little bit about your background and stuff. And I'm going to turn it over to my ladies here.
Okay. Can you hear us okay?
Yes,
Now, do you go by Matthew or Matt?
Matthew.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. All right, so if you could, just to start out, just kind of tell us a little bit about what your appraisal experience is, especially, you know, if you have the different property types like residential, commercial, industrial.
Okay, when I started here, I was, ag clerk, and then I went to business personal property. I took this job in 21. We have probably about half and half, residential and industrial with a little bit of commercial, not too much commercial. Most of it's, industrial property like wind farms, solar farms, pipelines. When I took over, we were out on one of our school districts in ag, so we fixed that. We fell behind on our, residential the very first year I took over, but, we got the information and we raised the whole county about 35% and got back in local values the first year, so.
All right. So why are you interested in us? Why are you interested in Aransas County's chief appraiser position?
Well, I've lived here my whole life, and it kind of makes this job a little hard, being with all the people you know, and I just, looking for something new and something challenging to expand myself out to.
Right.
So can you tell us about, if you were appointed as chief appraiser, what strengths would you bring to the position? What are some of your strengths?
What strength? I believe in, doing what needs to be done to get the job done, whether it means more work or not. So I like to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do and
Okay,
just get the job done that needs to be done.
all right.
So do you have any experience with data analysis tools or techniques? And specifically, how would you verify the accuracy or reliability of the data in a property appraisal?
Well, a lot of it goes to using the Marshall and Swift to get cost and whatever data we can find for sales, just putting them in a ratio study, just calling and sending letters to check to make sure sales are accurate sales, and just gathering as much information as possible just to make sure we have good information.
Okay, and second, how do you see technology in the future of property appraisal?
I think there's lots of room for growth in the technology of appraisal. There's lots of things we could use to help our industry out with. Certain AI stuff would probably help. Certainly good software helps a lot, so.
Okay,
What software do you use now?
Right now we use Gemini with Southwest Data.
Okay.
all right, so can you describe a complex appraisal project that you worked on and how you handled any challenges that arose during that project?
Well, we had our newest wind farm, about half of them broke last year, so it was kind of a problem trying to get with the agents and the owners to determine what the extent of the damage was and relaying that message on to the entities that were involved. But it took just a little time and effort to figure out what it was going to take. That's big value, so it was something we needed to take time and just spend a little time on talking it out with the owners and the agents.
Okay.
So can you give an example of how you stay informed about the changes in appraisal regulations and standards?
Yes, ma'am, I keep up with newsletters from the Appraisal Foundation and the associations here. I stay in contact with our law firm we have now when the legislature's going on to keep up with any new updates that are going on. I like to get on their website as well as they're passing bills and read through them to see what they're doing to change things.
Okay, and then how do you communicate that to your staff?
We like to have at least one meeting a month to, just fill them in on anything that's changing with their part of the job or what needs to happen with all of us to help somebody out for something changing in their job.
Okay.
All right, Matthew, what is your experience in developing budgets and managing financials?
Well, I kind of got, when I first got thrown in here, it was all new to me, but I've worked the budget the last few years. I have a whole spreadsheet that compares 5 years worth of budget so I can see what we're spending. We cut the budget a little bit this year up here, but I just keep up during the year with what's being spent, where we're at on the budget. Like I say, I had a spreadsheet that compares everything for the past 5 years of what we spent.
Okay.
Okay. What is your experience in hiring and supervising employees, and how do you make sure that you keep a positive and productive work environment?
Well, I like to interview quite a few people just to make sure we get a good fit. We hired a kid and he wasn't going to work out. We had to let him go, but I just like to talk with the employees to see how they feel about how things are going, any ideas they might have to make things work better. Any needs they have, just make sure that we get those filled for them.
Okay. And then, if you were appointed as chief appraiser, you would report to this board. So what type of information do you think is important to communicate to the board? And then, as aside from that, is what can we do as a board to make your job easier?
I think it's important to relay any big problems or anything good that's happening there. Any changes that need to be made, just bring them up to the board. I like to keep in touch with them for just about anything that's going on, so they're well informed in case someone in the community asks them. I guess for the board, it's just to just stay in communication with me as well and help me if I'm doing something wrong or right, just to communicate that with me.
All right.
And then is there anything else that you would like us to know about you, or do you have questions for us?
Well, like I said, I was born and raised here. I graduated school here, graduated Hardin-Simmons University with a political science degree. I farmed and ranched for a few years before I took this job. But I guess I was just going to ask how many meetings we would normally have a year.
With the board, you're talking about with the board?
Yes.
So by law, we have to meet at least quarterly.
Right.
But sometimes we have to meet more frequent. Recently, we've been meeting about once a month.
Okay. Right.
But that's not ideally.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that. And I guess just what y'all's expectations and long-term goals would be?
That's a good question. Who would like to field that one?
as a board or an entity, really, I feel like we're trying to grow ourselves as well as now we're trying to hire a chief appraiser. We're trying to share a goal for unification, increased communication. But we need to make sure our foundation is set to then get a good candidate in here to work for us. So I feel like we're in a growing stage, as a board, that maybe that's why we've had a few more meetings, but we're looking for a strong candidate who can provide knowledge on appraisals that still allows us to work through our growth as well.
And longevity.
Longevity, we want.
Right.
Yeah,
I think, communication with the entities and just, making a good working environment with them is a great deal. I mean, you need them behind you to get the work done, and a good helping them understand what we do is a good part of that.
I agree.
Kevin, do you have something?
Yeah, I'd kind of like to ask him the same thing I asked the last one about management style.
Okay.
So whenever you, I get there's always an initial training period with employees. You don't want to just hire somebody and turn them out there and say, hey, go do the job. So I mean, I get an initial part of the job. You have to teach, you have to be with them, you have to do all that. Beyond that initial period though, what's your management style with people, and especially like your appraisers and stuff? Are you more of you want to be involved in the whole process, or are you more of it's your job, go do it, come talk to me if you have questions, but I got my work to do, you got your work to do, kind of a manager?
I'm most definitely one that's willing to help them, and I kind of like to be involved, but not to a point where it feels like I'm not allowing them to do the job.
Okay.
Yeah. What is your working relationship with your tax assessor collector?
We just got a brand new one, but, I believe it's a good one.
And you guys like work, because I've heard horror stories, not here, but with other tax collectors that have horror stories with their appraisers, their chief appraisers, and I try to question how that is, because I think it's very highly important to have very good working relationship between the two of us.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I agree, there needs to be a very good working relationship, because, without one, the other one can't do their job, so they need to be able to get along.
Okay.
Does anybody else have anything? I have a couple of questions for you. These are statistical, so I can gain a better understanding. And if you don't know the answer, you can ballpark or tell me you really don't know. So I don't know much about Callahan County. I probably don't know anything about it. How many individual parcels do y'all have?
We have a total of about almost 22,000, right below 22,000.
Okay, and how many employees do y'all have in your CAD office?
There are, including myself, there's 5 of us here.
Okay, and you kind of know ballpark what your annual budget is?
It's around 742,000.
Okay, and how many school districts do you have in your county?
We have 6.
6.
2 of them just barely come in here, but we have 6 of them.
have them.
Yeah. Okay, and do you, how many incorporated cities do you have?
3.
3. Okay, so you've got a pretty wide range of folks that are depending on you to do your job. Quite a few more than we have here. That's why I asked to give some perspective on that.
What was that?
I said I just asked to give some perspective because here we have far fewer entities than what you have up there.
Right.
You might tell them what we have.
Yeah, so like for instance here, we have one school district that dominates.
He has 3. Remember, we have 3 school districts. He's got
Yeah,
4.
kind of.
And that could be
yeah,
the same,
right.
because we have Aransas Pass, we
Yeah.
have Port Aransas, and
Yeah, so technically we have 3, but one of them clearly dominates. The other 2 are, one is teeny tiny, and the other one has a sliver. And we only have 2 incorporated towns, cities, and of course we don't have very many special purpose districts either. We have 2 that I'm aware of. 2.
what?
Yeah, special purpose districts.
Blood and Lamar.
Yeah.
And we
So-
have 3 towns. Rangers Pass.
Oh, that's right, we have the city range pass, we have 3.
Quit
Okay.
freaking Rangers
I-
Pass.
And I live close to
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
And we have a navigation district. Do you know much about navigation districts? Have you ever worked with any of them?
No, sir, we don't have any kind of special district here.
Okay, all right. All right, well, that's all I have. Is there anything anybody else has? Mr. Walker, it's been a pleasure to meet you. We are excited that you have chosen to inquire. Uh-oh, now Colleen.
If you don't mind, sir, so should you be the chosen candidate, what kind of a time frame would it take for you to relocate and be ready to hit the ground running?
I would probably need at least to the end of August. I have, an obligation in August out in California I'd have to go to, plus my board. We can have a meeting at the end of July. We're having a meeting then because right now I don't have a quorum in town until then.
Okay.
Understood.
Okay.
It's really not so far away when you think about how fast the summer will go.
Yeah, that's like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mr. Walker, again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your interest in our community.
Yes, sir, appreciate y'all's time.
Okay, thank you. We'll let you know. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know how to do that? Boy, she's on it.
She's on top of it.
There you go. There you go. All right. Now do you want to call in the guy pulling up the rear?
Is that with the keys right now?
Yeah.
It was like exact opposite, the lady who put together.
Right.
I kept trying to find the place for her to take a breath.
Yeah, she was
so I could
definitely
Get in there,
Chatty Cathy.
and then he was like,
Yeah.
going to the point.
Answer or get done.
You know, those guys, they're different folks. I mean, they're just hardcore matter of fact, and Panhandle, West Texas, it's a different breed. No, sir. We just need to, we're not in the open session yet. We're still in the executive session. Yeah.
Don't be recorded.
That's not my.
Yeah.
I'm taking a report over there.
Have y'all ever seen hysterical? Hysterical, right? Hysterical came out very good.
Taking all
Maybe,
my stuff.
yes.
Is it where they got the mask like the ex-president, and one guy goes, "You're not recording this, are you?" He got a tricky dick mask on.
Yeah. Does Ray want to do Zoom too?
I know, we ought to put them online. Get on your phone and.
Yeah, we should tell him we don't feel comfortable.
We don't
being
feel
in the same
comfortable
room.
you sitting with us.
Yeah,
You may not feel comfortable sitting with us.
I know I would.
I'll be like, I'd rather Zoom it, sorry, they get to Zoom, why can't I Zoom?
Right. We're gonna say 7:50, back in open session.
Okey-dokey.
Just let me know, are we recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. Okay, we are back in open session, and we have interviewed, 3 candidates. We had a Mrs. Aguirre from Alice, Texas. We had a Mr. Walker from Baird, Texas. And we had our interim chief appraiser, Mr. Presley, from here in Rockport. And our agenda says we will reconvene in open session for discussion and possible action to name a candidate as the permanent chief appraiser. So, is there anyone who would like to make a motion to that effect?
I make a motion, that we offer, Mr. Presley the job as, chief appraiser for Aransas County Police District.
We have a second on that.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion and second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to call for the question. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. You're welcome, Ray. Now you can, you got something to be mad at us about. No, so congratulations, and, this has been a deliberative process, and we do thank the other 2 candidates, for their interest in the job. And I want to thank this board for going through this process, taking it seriously, understanding the gravity of it. We do have a fiduciary duty here, to the community at large, and I think we've handled ourselves admirably on this score. And I'm looking forward to moving forward. I'm looking forward to getting out from under this little bit of a cloud. And, you know, we're here to facilitate Mr. Presley and the administration of this office, and we're here to do the job of taxpayers. And I'm looking forward to getting that done. So if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of adjournment, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Motion carries. We are in adjournment at 7:52. Awesome, guys. Thank y'all so much.
You can text your staff now.
Congratulations, man. And I will, what I'll do, guys, is I'll draft a letter from the other two candidates, and I'll just run it by y'all if you have revisions or whatever, and we can just send that out.
Okay.
All righty, guys.
Well, it's before 8.
Was that our target?
Can we not have a meeting for at least like 3 weeks?
Oh, yeah, well, so the next meeting we're gonna do.
I didn't think it.
I feel like we were going a week,
I know.
2 weeks,
I know.
a week.
We could do it every week.
Oh,
I know.
You don't wanna do this every night?
So I encourage everybody to talk to Ray about his preliminary budget. We all have that, right? Everybody has a copy? So if you have questions about it, that way we can streamline that meeting, because that's the next meeting we're gonna have, right? We're gonna go ahead and see if we can pass the budget.
If y'all wanna do that, yeah.
I'm
We have
thinking-
to do the budget requirement notification stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a,
Yeah.
Didn't we, the last year, didn't we have like one other meeting in between,
we can do that.
like somewhere in July or so? The budget has to be